What's up, y'all? This is your boy Brooklyn Untitled Radio, Streets 99.3, Brooklyn Media, and today I'm here with 2012, correct?
Yes.
All right, man. So how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Now I have before we get started, where did the name, 2012 come into play? Like, why 2012?
Oh my gosh. So ironically, I rebranded last year and I turned 20, or not last year, this year. Sorry. It's felt like it's been a whole year since I rebranded already. But I my birthday's in January and I turned 20, which was just like it was different for me, you know. I was like, oh, whoa, I'm growing up, like it's life is getting real.
Hmm.
And I also started at the age of 12. I was training and everything before then here in Atlanta, but which is where I'm from, shout out.
Okay, shout out
But
to them.
I um I started officially in girl groups at the age of 12 and we would put out covers and stuff on YouTube and they would get like millions of views. So I really just was put into this industry very young and quickly. And this year I almost kind of said, I'm done with it all. Some stuff happened that, this industry can be very grimy.
Yeah.
And I was almost kind of just like, man, like this is it. But then I just had the right team that I got to build, and they helped me get everything together. And so I was like, yeah, I want to rebrand. And when
Mhm.
I was deciding what my name should be, I felt like the numbers, the age that I almost kind of gave up, and then the age that I started were very significant, which represents my past and my future. And I like to cultivate that into my music as well. So that's where the 2012, the 12
Okay.
is Roman numeral. So it does confuse people.
Yeah, yeah, I was just like, I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know if I'm saying it, right. But okay, cool. Because when you said 2012, I'm thinking the year 2012, the world's about to end, a whole new rebirth. So I'm thinking something totally different from,
Yeah.
you said. But
Yeah.
that's very interesting. So let's just go ahead and get started. You did mention that, you were in a group. So
Mhm.
talk about just, how you got started in the group, how your experience was in a group, and then there's sometimes there are like common misconceptions of, girl groups and can they stay together and X, Y, and
Mhm.
Z. So just talk about your experience.
My experience being in a girl group was honestly, it was fun. It was very fun. It was a lot of work at such a young age and a lot of sacrifice. And I think I was just talking about this. You don't really realize what you're sacrificing when you're that young. You just kind of feel like, oh, I'm living a dream and I'm working and this is what I want to do with my life and this is what I dreamt of. And then, you get older and you're like, oh, I didn't go to prom. I didn't, I barely had a birthday. This, that, and the third. But to me, if that's what you really want and you look back, it's like, it's worth the sacrifice. Being in a girl group, you have to be all basically one.
Mhm.
One girl's down, you all look bad, but at the end of the day, it was an incredible experience. I thank God that I got to do. The girl group was called Pink Heart, um, which was me and, Gabby, Amira, and I, the members be changing, but
Yeah, yeah.
they're still to this day like sisters to me. We still all support each other. And I'm happy because it's what got me to where I am today. So,
Okay, definitely. That's dope. So would you ever go back to a girl group, or are you just like
mm-mm,
solo? It's
mm-mm.
that was a hard no.
No, 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 no. I did that from 12 to 18.
Yeah,
I'm good,
it,
but
it's a
I
negative.
appreciate it.
No, yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to appreciate, the steps to where, that lead you to where you are now. So it's all part of
Mhm.
your story. So you said you're from ATL, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So, what part of ATL?
I'm from Cobb County.
Cobb County. Cool. So I was born in Brooklyn, right? I
Uh-huh.
claim Brooklyn because I love the culture, right? But
Yeah.
when people say, I say, I'm from Brooklyn, but I lived in Atlanta. I went to school in Atlanta. Well, really, people get mad when you say Atlanta. Really, Stone
Yeah.
Mountain, Lithonia area, you got to be specific with people from actual Atlanta. But yeah, I'm
You
from
too.
Cobb County. And I went to Stevenson High School. So,
Okay.
talk about, kind of, how Atlanta influenced your whole artistry.
Man, how Atlanta influenced my artistry was definitely growing up in and going to church for one. I think, just automatically being in the South, you majority of people are raised in, churches and stuff. But I wasn't singing in church, but I would go to my dad's like rehearsals and watch him and listen to like the live band. And till this day, music has like a frequency that puts me to sleep. And I could be anywhere. And if it's just like the right song, it kind of puts me to sleep because it's such a comfortable feeling. But I grew up in church, and so that feeling of just like passion and the live instruments, that was just like an inspiration. And then also just being in environments like my daddy's from College Park. So whenever we were visiting family, being over there and just hearing like the music,
Yeah.
outcasts, all of the good sounds and energy that I just kind of pulled from. And then I've always had a diverse ear. So my favorite artist growing up until this day is Stevie Wonder, hands
Mm.
down.
Yeah.
But in general, Atlanta has definitely like influenced me and just my energy and my swag, I would say.
Yeah. Okay, dope. And I kind of come from a musical background as well.
Great.
My grandfather, he was actually a jazz musician. Uh Shamik Farah, he dropped plenty of albums. So, when I was growing up, he would always let us play with the saxophone and let us play with the piano and all that stuff.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I come from a musical background too myself. So let's talk about some of your Atlanta influences, people that you look up to,
Mhm.
that kind of got you started within, just your sound of music in general.
Oh, for sure. I would definitely say starting off with Outkast and starting I know Sierra, she wasn't born in Atlanta, but she's ATL.
Yeah,
Everyone
she's
knows
still
that.
ATL.
She's
Yeah.
ATL. Everyone knows that. Oh my gosh, obsessed with her like videos and her choreography and her as a performer. She's just goes so crazy. And then watching like Usher music videos, I loved the performing. And I loved the way the music made me feel.
Mhm.
And going back to Outkast too, like with Andre 3000, just the way he makes you feel. So with my music, I just love feel good music. I'm more of an electric kind of pop vibe, but I like to dibble and dabble. I like to
Yeah.
mix it up a bit. But those are definitely my influences when it comes to like the performance and then just the way it makes you feel. So
Right.
for
Yeah,
sure.
and you mentioned Outkast, you mentioned Andre 3000, and when you kind of look at Andre 3000, now you've seen how many different ways he's just kind of reinvented himself. He's not
Hmm.
even doing the rapping thing right now. He's playing the flute. You know what I'm saying? Just
Exactly.
something crazy different. So, I think those are great influences to have.
Thank you.
Now, you kind of touched on it, but for people that don't know your music, describe your type of music to somebody that, is just new and listening right now and wants to check you out.
For sure. 2012, I am more than just an artist. I'm an experience. I like to use my name basically off of like time and space and just like everything futuristic I feel is like attracted to me. And I feel when you listen to my music, it's kind of, I mean, just that it's futuristic. It
Mm,
doesn't really have a timestamp. It could have
right.
been released at any time. And so I think that that's just the experience I like to give, which is mainly like pop now, but I feel that I like to play around with genres because
Mhm.
why not? We
Right.
don't have to limit ourselves to anything. So 2012, you'll hear some electric pop going on, some
Okay.
some cool vibes, but yeah.
Dope. And when it comes to just the songwriting process, do you write your own music or do you have writers that help you write?
For the most part, honestly, it really do be me. Like I enjoy writing with other people. I have in the past. I have um a couple times. I feel that that's when the best work honestly comes out. But for a majority of the time, it's usually just me
Mhm.
in the studio with the producers. And so I end up just kind of as they're producing and getting the beat together and I've already written the song.
Mhm.
And it's usually a vibe, but I love working with people.
Dope. So are you the type of artist that has to listen to the beat before you put something on paper, or do you jot down your ideas or write a song and then come to the producer with, hey, I kind of want this type of beat, or I'm kind of feeling this vibe today.
It could be different. It depends on the day,
Mhm.
honestly. And it depends on the producer and the chemistry or the relationship I might have with them. Um, for example, my new single that just dropped literally today,
Right.
Talk My Sh. I like had the producer Faro Jaro, shout out to him and him Logic. Love them. Working with them is always super, super dope. I had them scratch like three things, like three productions that they we were doing from scratch. And I
Mhm.
was just throwing out melodies and stuff that I heard or like instruments that I heard, but I was like, no, we're not quite there yet. And then we got to like the fourth thing that we were doing from scratch, and I was like, okay, this is it. But I had already kind of from the other beats had stuff written.
Mhm.
And then right when we got to that final one that we were like, okay, this is it. I kind of just made the melodies to stuff that I had already had written down.
Yeah.
So sometimes it works like that, but usually I hear a melody first. But sometimes a great piece of advice that I actually got from Leon Thomas was he told me to always, whenever you have a melody, go in your voice memo and you just sing it.
Yeah.
So I might go back to my voice memos and be like, oh, let me listen to this and see if I have some
Yeah.
melodies I can pull. So yeah.
So do you and Leon have like a relationship, or or was it just like a talk in passing?
I actually met him in LA a few years back at like a party, and I went up to him and I was like, oh my gosh, like you were super, super dope to me. Like, can you mentor me? And he was like, yeah, like, cool. He's so dope. He was so cool. I would just send him my stuff. He would give me like his feedback. And that was like one of the things he told me that just like to this day, I haven't like spoken to him in a long time, but I'll
Yeah.
always like appreciate him for that. Like he was just like he kept it real, but he was really cool. So yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I actually interviewed Leon a couple months ago. He came to Nashville for a Blavity Fest, and he was super dope. This was before he even dropped his tape, so now he's going crazy.
oh
Um,
my gosh,
so
yes.
yeah, so let's get into the single "Talk My Sh." What was the inspiration behind it? And I just want to let you know, we listened to it, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it sounds like one of those you gotta, you get pumped up to. I can hear it. It's actually a club in Nashville that a lot of people go to.
Mhm.
Called it's like a blind barber, it's like a speakeasy. And I think
Okay.
your song would go crazy in there. So I'm definitely gonna pass it off to one of the DJs just because like
Oh my
I feel
gosh.
like that song goes with that atmosphere for sure.
Don't play with me. That's so nice. Thank
No,
you.
yeah, for sure. Like, come
Oh
on.
my gosh. I would
But
appreciate that.
yeah, so just talk about that record, and
Yeah.
how you got the inspiration for that.
Man, for Talk My which is funny, my team was like, okay, is this Talk My Shit? And I was like, I don't say it. I think you don't hear me say it in there, guys. I when it comes to like cursing and stuff, it's like I be feeling a little awkward sometimes still
Mhm.
in my music doing it because I'm like, my family's gonna be listening to this.
Right.
I'm gonna get a call from my dad, like, girl. But at the same time, it was more so just about the vibe. I didn't want to say shit. I like the fact that it's like because it does
Mhm.
give that uns
Yeah,
like club
definitely.
vibe, which was really ultimately what my team and I decided we wanted to do and the route that we wanted to stay on for 2012.
Mhm.
And I kind of went into the studio with that idea of just, okay, I want this to be very clubby. Um, but I wanted to have like this electronic house pop feel. So that was kind of just like what we knew we were going for.
Mhm.
And going in, it was like, okay, well, now let's just have fun and see what comes out. And that's exactly, it was like effortless. And I feel like that's usually the best vibe. It was also last minute. I
Really?
work very well under pressure.
Okay.
I don't like working under pressure, but for some reason it just happens like that. But it usually does really good for me when it does happen like
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah, I love working under pressure too. I love being unprepared for stuff. So before we get out of here, I want you to let everybody know where we can find you, the music that you got coming out. I know you said you just dropped Talk My Sh, which we're gonna play here on Streets. But let everybody know projects you got coming up, if you got any shows, because Streets is everywhere. You can listen to us
yeah.
anywhere. So wherever you're gonna be at, people gonna be tuned in. So let everybody know where we can find you at and what you got coming up next.
Yes, sir. Well, one, thank you for having me, Brooklyn. I love that
Yeah.
name. That's my brother's name. And yeah, you guys can follow me on all social media platforms at 20XII. That's 2012 with Roman numerals. And stream my new single, Talk My Sh out right now. Thank y'all for having me. And
Yeah.
just continue to watch your gal because some stuff is definitely on the way if you into it. So
Well, most definitely will. Most definitely will. Well, thank you, 2012. This is your boy Brooklyn Untitled Radio, Streets 993, and Brooklyn Media. Peace out.